At number 10, Billie Eilish. In recent years, singer Billie Eilish has had a lot of success come her way. After rising to fame in 2015 with her song Ocean Eyes, Billie has since grown to become an award-winning artist, winning multiple Grammy Awards, AMAs, MTV Europe Music Awards, Brit Awards, MTV Video Music Awards, and an NRJ Music Award. But with all that fame comes a lot of pressure, and because she's gained massive fame at such a young age, Billie has struggled with it, even regretting her fame at times. Back in 2019, Billie did an interview where she talked about her life in the public eye and how her career and fame has affected her life, and she spoke out about how there wasn't much in the world that brought her peace, saying that though her life is fun and exciting, she doesn't have much sense of calm in her life. When asked about her sudden rise to fame, Billie spoke out about how her fame has had such a huge impact on her childhood, where she said, quote, "I don't mean this in a necessarily negative way, but I sort of lost my teenage years because this all started when I was 13. There's no training, there's no let me go to a school that's going to teach me how to be famous." End quote. It was almost like she was thrown into the deep end before learning how to swim, and she spent the majority of her teen years navigating herself through all of that, which must have been tough for someone so young to do. She's grown up in front of the prying eyes of Hollywood, and that would freak anyone out. At number 9, FKA Twigs. Singer FKA Twigs has experienced the highs and lows of fame. She rose to fame through her music, but many people know her for her high-profile relationships that she's been in. The singer was previously in a relationship with actor Shia LaBeouf, and she was in the news recently after she filed a lawsuit against the actor, alleging that he hurt her several times throughout the relationship. But before this high-profile relationship, she was dating Twilight star Robert Pattinson, and this relationship caused her to gain widespread attention. Because Robert has such a huge following, some of the attention from Robert rubbed off on Twigs, and a lot of the attention she received was negative. In an interview in 2015, the singer spoke out about her experience with fame in regards to her relationship, and she said that she was struggling with the public's perception of her. As soon as they went public with their relationship, Twigs found herself under a spotlight that she wasn't ready for, and when speaking on this, she said, quote, "It's really hard, I can't begin to explain how awful it is. It makes you want to just stop everything sometimes. It makes you want to smash your face into the mirror." End quote. Though she was struggling with the public eye, she did say, however, that it was worth it because she loved Robert so much. Before we carry on talking about the celebrities who hate being famous, why not take a quick moment to leave a like on this video to show your support, and while you're at it, maybe subscribe to the channel as well to see more videos like this one. At number 8, Lady Gaga. Lady Gaga has always been pretty open with her fans about her life and her struggles. She's an open book when it comes to many aspects of her everyday life, and that includes her career and the fame that comes with it. During an interview with CBS Sunday Morning back in 2016, Gaga spoke out about how her fame has impacted her life, and though she is grateful for the life it's given her, there are a few negative aspects of fame that she isn't a fan of. During the interview, the singer vocalized how being famous impacts your privacy, where she said, quote, "I'm very acutely aware that once I cross that property line, I'm not free anymore. As soon as I go out into the world, I belong in a way to everyone else. It's legal to follow me. It's legal to stalk me at the beach. I can't call the police or ask them to leave." End quote. On top of her concerns about her privacy, Gaga has also vocalized how her fame has taken away the freedom to just spark up a normal conversation with someone. The singer said that she missed being able to have conversations with people, as she said, quote, "I miss people. I miss, going anywhere and meeting a random person and saying hi and having a conversation about life. I love people." End quote. At number 7, Gigi Hadid. A lot of people think that being a celebrity would grant you all of these amazing perks, and you would have so many friends because of it, but apparently that's not exactly true, and being a celebrity can actually be a pretty isolating experience. At least that's what supermodel Gigi Hadid has said in regards to fame. During a 2019 interview with Elle magazine, Gigi said that because of her work, she's lost a lot of friends. Speaking on this, Gigi said, quote, "I've lost a lot of friends because I'll get busy for a short period of time and they're not reaching out, but if I don't reach out, then it's like I've changed." She said that because her work is so demanding, a lot of people don't understand how taxing it can really be, and so when she disappears for work for a little while, some people just don't wait for her to return and just move on. To further explain her struggles with keeping her social and work life in check, Gigi said, quote, "There are people who understand that I love them and know that when I get back to town I'm going to call them, but sometimes I can't call every day because I'm in weird places. Because a lot of the time I feel suffocated by my own work ethic and by the expectations I put on myself. It's really nice when you have people who say, it's okay, take time for yourself." End quote. At number 6, Kylie Jenner. Kylie Jenner is no stranger to the paparazzi. After the rise of sister Kim Kardashian in the media, a new spotlight began shining on the Kardashian-Jenner family. In 2007, taping of the reality show Keeping Up with the Kardashians began, and Kylie was only 10 years old at the time. Having cameras around you 24/7 and growing up with the spotlight on you like that must be incredibly difficult to manage. Kylie, having grown up so publicly, has since shown her distaste for fame. She's vocalized her anxiety when it comes to the press, saying that she wakes up every morning feeling anxious because she thinks that a bad story is going to come out about her. She's been living with such paranoia for years, and it's really not fair that she was thrown into this lifestyle and just had to learn how to navigate it at such a young age. She became famous just because she was related to someone famous. She never really asked to have the spotlight put on her, but that's just something that she has to deal with on a daily basis. Kylie even hid from the world for months during her first pregnancy because she wanted to experience her pregnancy without the world watching. Seems to me that Kylie just wants to be a normal person. At number 5, Zayn Malik. Known for his iconic part in the former boy band One Direction, Zayn was known to have his fair share of grievances when it came to his fame. After leaving the group in 2015, Zayn went on to tell sources that he came to the realization that he just didn't want to be famous, and that he's lost a lot of people close to him because of his place in Hollywood. Zayn really just didn't like living in the public eye, and so he quit his job over it. Although Zayn decided to begin a solo career, many seem to believe that even that was too much for the singer. After the release of Pillow Talk, Zayn followed up with a number of cancelled appearances and performances, leading people to believe that he is still not up for the spotlight just yet. At number 4, Carrie Henn. Starting a career in Hollywood at a young age doesn't seem like it would be very easy. For a lot of former child stars, they say that they regret getting into the industry when they were so young because it made growing up very difficult for them. Though some stick around in the industry for the long haul, many others quit early on, and this is what happened to actress Carrie Henn. Carrie was cast as Newt in the movie Aliens, but after filming it, she decided that she couldn't handle the pressures of Hollywood anymore. Years after the hit film came out, Carrie did an interview to catch fans up to speed on what she's been doing and why they left Hollywood, where she said that she just didn't want to be away from her family. Carrie eventually got into the field of education and occasionally signs copies of the movie for her students, which is pretty cool. At number 3, Anne Hathaway. Anne Hathaway has been so successful in the film industry, starring in all sorts of different films, from The Devil Wears Prada to Les Miserables, but in a 2014 interview, Anne admitted that fame has really affected her for a long time. She opened up about her struggle balancing her life with the widespread fame that she was gaining, where she said, quote, "I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to engage with it. It stressed me out. And people would say, you just have to be yourself. And I was like, but I don't know who that is yet." End quote. The actress also spoke out about the criticisms that she was facing after her Oscars win for her role in Les Mis, which caused her to take a break from Hollywood. Speaking on this, Anne said, quote, "My impression is that people needed a break from me." End quote. Acting is just her job, and fame is just a side effect of what she does for a living, adding to the pressures of her craft. At number 2, Amanda Bynes. Former child actor Amanda Bynes grew up in the spotlight, and between the pressure of having grown up a celebrity combined with her public breakdown, it's no wonder that she decided to leave the industry after her fame became too much to handle. In the past, Amanda has spoken out about the times that she felt anxious about her Hollywood career, but in an interview with Paper Magazine, she opened up about the very moment that she decided to quit acting altogether, and this was after she watched her performance in the movie Easy A. Amanda told the publication, quote, "I literally couldn't stand my performance in that movie. I didn't like my performance. I was absolutely convinced that I needed to stop acting after seeing it. I was high when I saw it, but for some reason it started to really affect me. I don't know if it was a substance-induced psychosis or what, but it affected my brain in a different way than it affects other people. It absolutely changed my perspective of things." End quote. After making the decision to retire from acting, Amanda took to Twitter to tell the public about her plans to leave Hollywood. Although she says that she hopes to one day return to acting, she's also content with living her simpler life away from Hollywood. There was just too much pressure from Hollywood and having all eyes on her, so she had to leave it all behind to feel better about herself again. And finally, at number 1, Jack Gleeson. After gaining fame from starring as Joffrey Baratheon in Game of Thrones, actor Jack Gleeson decided to take a step back from acting and leave Hollywood. Though he was grateful for the experience of being a part of such a huge show like Game of Thrones, Jack told sources that the large amount of fame that comes with the job just wasn't something that thrilled him. Going in depth about his thoughts on his place in the public eye, he told sources, quote, "It was always a recreation beforehand, but when I started doing Game of Thrones, perhaps the reality was made too real for me. The lifestyle that comes with being an actor in a successful TV show isn't something I gravitate towards." End quote. Jack even made the point to not watch his own performances on TV because of how maniacal his character was, as he said, quote, "You tend to abstract yourself from the creepiness of it when you're playing it, but when you see it on television it sends shivers down my spine," end quote. Since leaving the industry, Jack has gone to college and has a goal of helping relief efforts for those in Haiti who are affected by the 2010 earthquake.
Starting off our list at number 10 is Billie Eilish. She is currently the world's biggest 17-year-old when it comes to stardom. The moody singer-songwriter has a reputation for making unique music videos that always go viral. She first made her name known in the music scene when she came out with the surprise hit Ocean Eyes back in 2016. And even though she is one of the world's biggest pop stars right now, she often goes against that typical pop star image that you would see. She is a fan of her own passion for the art, but she is not a fan of the fame that comes with it. She beats the norm when it comes to Hollywood standards, and she has no problem sharing her thoughts about it. During interviews she said, "Fame is horrible. It's worth it because it lets me play shows and meet people, but fame itself is effing dreadful." In another interview she was asked what it was like taking on Hollywood at such a young age, and she replied with, "There is no training. There's no like, let me go to school that's going to teach me how to be famous. Also, that would suck. That would be a trash school. Famous people suck. Fame is trash." Damn, Billie, tell us how you really feel. In at number 9 is Amy Schumer. The comedian hates Hollywood so much she made a whole episode about the downfalls of fame. In one of her stand-up sketches she joked about how being famous isn't fun and that she's going to pull a Justin Bieber and stop taking pictures with fans. This wasn't for no reason though, it was after a man harassed her while asking for a photo. She also went off about what it was really like to go to the Met Gala that a lot of people dream of being invited to. During an interview on the Howard Stern show, she confessed that going to the gala felt like, and I quote, "felt like punishment." When asked about the dresses, she said, "We were dressed up like a bunch of effing assholes." She explained that it feels like people doing an impression of having a conversation and that it was all very farce. Schumer even admitted to leaving the event early and said, "I left, not the second I could. I left earlier than I should have been allowed. I got to meet Beyonce and she was like, 'Is this your first gala?' And I was like, 'It's my last.'" I think it's safe to say that she probably won't be invited to the next one. Swiping our number 8 spot is Selena Gomez. Fans were shocked when she decided to cancel part of her Revival World Tour and enter treatment for depression and anxiety. She opened up to Vogue about why she checked herself into a facility in Tennessee. She said, "Tours are a really lonely place for me. My self-esteem was shot. I was depressed, anxious. Basically I felt I wasn't good enough and wasn't capable." It's hard to believe she would feel lonely when she's constantly surrounded by millions of fans who adore her, but she said that there's social anxiety that comes with that. Along with fame in Hollywood comes social media, to which she has been named the most popular celebrity on Instagram, having a current total of 152 million followers. It's one part of Hollywood that she says is a love-hate relationship. She blames social media for her struggles with image and mental health, but also loves the platform it gives to connect with her fans. It seems like people in Hollywood are a lot lonelier than we would think. I always thought, like, how can you be lonely when there are always people around you? But it just goes to show that it roots a lot deeper than just having people physically there. Taking over our number 7 spot is Gigi Hadid. The 23-year-old is one of the biggest models on the planet, and she admits that fame hasn't been the easiest thing to take on. A few months ago in April of 2019, she spoke to Variety about her career and discussed how she's dealt with Hollywood and living life in the spotlight. She even got emotional while speaking about it and said, I quote, "At times, fame makes you feel out of control of your life. I think it's tough. Obviously people judge you. People can create a headline or an opinion about someone based on a small moment or a mistake." Back in 2017, she also spoke with Harper's Bazaar where she revealed her time in Hollywood has had a huge impact on her circle of friends. She said a lot of things in Friends come out when someone gets famous and that she has lost a lot of friends because of it. She did admit that in some way it's a good thing because you find out who your real friends are, but that fame plays an effect on every aspect of her life. When talking about her passion for modeling, she admits that she always knew she wanted to support herself and have the creative freedom she has now to shape her own life. It seems like she is grateful for that aspect, but just wishes things could be a little bit easier. At number 6 is Vanessa Hudgens. Her career began and took off with Disney, and she's fully admitted the struggle she has faced to shed that innocent Disney image that you get held above your head. Luckily, she's been able to continue an acting career, and a successful one at that. Not only did she hate the judgment she faced when moving on from Disney, but she also hates just fame in general. During an interview she said, "I don't like the word fame. Some people like the idea of fame. I don't like the idea of fame. I like being an actress. It's different." She often tries to express the difference between wanting to be an actor and wanting wanting to be famous. She says that people often link them together since fame just naturally comes when you are a Hollywood actor. But she once told Daily Telegraph, "I became an actress and started singing and dancing because I truly loved it. I did not want to be a celebrity. I think fame is just something that comes along when you are in something that is such a success." Like other stars on this list, she hates media and paparazzi and the fact that everyone just tries to get in your business. She says that it becomes crippling. Halfway through our list at number 5 is Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen. I know they are two people, but there's no way I'm giving these twins two different spots, so they are a 2-for-1 package deal. Their fame skyrocketed in the 1990s and 2000s with their first role on the hit TV series Full House, which they were on from the time that they were literally infants. As the twins continued to grow their empire, becoming the youngest billionaires at one point in time, it was clear that they wanted to leave that Hollywood limelight. They ended up both leaving their acting careers and more recently declined to be a part of the Full House reboot. Ashley admitted that she feels uncomfortable with acting now, and Mary-Kate claimed that it was just awful timing for her. The two of them have been very vocal on how they hate the attention they get, and they do everything they can not to be in the spotlight. During an interview with Vogue, they explained that they have chosen to stay off social media all these years. Mary-Kate said, "We've spent our whole lives trying to not let people have that accessibility. It's their way of avoiding the things that they dislike about Hollywood, and it seems to be working pretty well for them." Taking the number 4 spot is Katy Perry, another star who wants success in Hollywood just without the fame. She loves creating music but is over the whole famous thing apparently. One thing the singer has strived to do is show that her life in Hollywood comes with a heavy price, and sometimes people don't want to pay for it anymore, if you know what I mean. This is why she created a full-length movie called Part of Me, which documented her entire concert tour back in 2012. She wanted people to see what it is really like to be a pop star, the good, the bad, and all the behind the scenes that actually goes into putting on those kinds of shows. When asked about her thoughts on fame, she said, "I'm tired of being famous already, but I'm not tired of creating. Fame is, I think, just a disgusting byproduct of what I do." She continues to try and show her fans that she's relatable and isn't what people think all Hollywood stars are. Alright guys, at number 3 is Lady Gaga. The star comes across confident as hell, but she has opened up about her struggles with fame and the pain Hollywood can cause. She revealed a lot of emotions with CBS Sunday Morning and said, "As soon as I go out into the world, I belong, in a way, to everyone else. It's legal to follow me, it's legal to stalk me at a beach, I can't call the police or ask them to leave." She got teary-eyed speaking on the subject and said that she has no freedom in her everyday life, but has freedom in her heart which comes out through her music. One thing she hates the most is how everyone recognizes her in public because it has completely transformed her interactions with people. She says, "I miss people. I miss, going anywhere and meeting a random person and saying hi and having a conversation about life. I love people." I mean, what an eye-opener that is. We can literally go up to anyone on the streets and say hi, and she will literally never be able to do that ever again because she'll always be recognized as Lady Gaga. Here we are at number 2 with Sia. It's no surprise that Sia is in Hollywood, but really doesn't want to be. She wants to share her music with the world, but not her private life, not even her face. She's the first celebrity to cover her face at all times during interviews, red carpets, performances, literally everything. For years, very few people had actually seen her without a wig covering her face. At first, the world just thought it was all part of her act, maybe part of her character as an artist, but she's been open about her reasoning and says it's everything to do with hating fame. During an interview, she said, "If anyone besides famous people knew what it was like to be a famous person, they would never want to be famous. I don't want to be famous or recognizable. I don't want to be critiqued about the way that I look on the internet. I've been writing pop songs for pop stars now for a couple of years, and I've become friends with them and see what their life is like, and that's not something I want." She was very successful at hiding her image and loved that she was able to go out and do simple things like grocery shopping. No one would even know that it was Sia because no fans or media sources actually knew what she looked like. Since then, she has showed up to a few events without a wig but still maintains a very low profile. Taking our number 1 spot is the adored Justin Bieber. Over the last few years, we've watched the pop star cancel his tour and walk away from his music career. Not only that, but he's also walked away from Hollywood as a whole. In September 2018, he announced that he was settling and living full-time in Ontario, Canada with his new wife, Hailey Baldwin. Sources say he felt that living in his home country was the right thing to do at this point in his life. This way, he doesn't feel the pressures of Hollywood and has the chance to actually have some privacy. He discussed his struggles of being in the spotlight during an NME interview, saying, "I'm struggling just to get through the day. You get lonely, when you're on the road. People see the glam and the amazing stuff, but they don't know the other side. This life can rip you apart." He went into more detail explaining the isolation of camping out in hotel rooms trying to avoid fans and paparazzi. Since moving to Canada, he has been able to focus on his mental health, which he says Hollywood once destroyed. At number 9 is Jennifer Lawrence. She became one of the best actors in Hollywood at a very young age, receiving her first Oscar nomination at the age of 20 for her role in Winter's Bone. She is known for being the face of the Hunger Games, but admits that she never thought she was going to be a mainstream actor like she is now. She doesn't agree with a lot of the things when it comes to Hollywood, and she has no problem voicing her opinion. In 2013, she did an interview with Vogue where she strongly expressed her opinions on paparazzi. She said, "If I were just your average 23-year-old girl and I called the police to say that there were strange men sleeping on my lawn and following me to Starbucks, they would leap into action. But because I am a famous person, well, sorry ma'am, there's nothing we can do. It makes no sense." She also went on to say how she hates when people tell her to accept her fame and to find peace with it, because often she gets told that being famous is just a part of acting, which it is, but her response was that she was simply not okay with it and said that she won't ever find peace with it because she's just a normal human being and wants to be treated like one. Her idea was that celebrities deserve time off from being photographed, like if she takes 3 months off from work, then during that time she can't be photographed without consent. I don't know how that would exactly work. What do you guys think of this idea? So our number 8 spot is George Clooney. The actor has always been the first person to say that fame comes with his job, but that he doesn't like the price that comes with it. He admitted that Hollywood got even harder for him when he became a dad because he wanted to shield them from it. Like other actors, he's expressed how draining the daily ins and outs of Hollywood can be with the paparazzi, scandals, tabloids, etc. While many people think he has the dream life, he tries to shed some light on that perspective by saying the glamour of Hollywood gets old real quick. During an interview in 2014, he told Esquire UK, and I quote, "There's a funny thing about fame. The truth is you run as fast as you can towards it because it's everything you want. Not just the fame, but what it represents, meaning work, meaning opportunity. And then when you get there, it's shocking how immediately you become enveloped in this world that is incredibly restricting." One thing he wishes he could do is take a walk through Central Park in New York City. He admitted that he hasn't walked through it in at least 15 years. One thing that he says people often don't consider is the fact that he could simply say something, go to sleep, wake up the next morning, and his career is over. Hollywood can get you like that. It can give you everything overnight, but then take it away just as quickly. In spot number 7 is Megan Fox. The Hollywood hottie is very vocal when it comes to the lifestyle Hollywood forces people into. For years, she has taken on the roles of playing a sex symbol, which she now admits made her feel powerless. It now makes her upset that her fans only see her as the hot girl because she knows she is much more than that. Megan says that she doesn't get why people get upset with her when she complains about the fame that comes with being an actress in Hollywood. For her, it feels like too many people judge her for not loving that lifestyle. During an interview in 2013, she didn't hold back when talking to Esquire. She said, and I quote, "I don't think people understand. They all think we should shut the F up and stop complaining because you live in a big house or you drive a Bentley, so your life must be great. What people don't realize is that fame, when you were being bullied by those 10 kids in high school, fame is that, but on a global scale where you're being bullied by millions of people constantly." Some fans agreed with her statement, while other fans were offended that she compares fame to bullying. Tell me your thoughts on that down in the comments. I want to hear your juicy opinions. At number 6, we have Robert Pattinson, and the actor has had no problem admitting how much he hated his movie Twilight, so it's no surprise that he openly talks about hating his life in Hollywood. He had no idea what he was getting into when he signed up for Twilight. He could have never imagined the fame that would come from it. The actor admits he never wanted to be famous in the first place and says that it has made him feel both isolated and lonely. But unlike some of the other actors on this list, he was actually able to have a normal life before stardom caught up to him. Back in 2013, he told GQ his feelings about fame and said, "It's strange, you don't have a normal life anymore. You spend much time trying to fight it, but in the end you find another way to live." He is grateful for one aspect though and shared, "People don't realize how lonely you are. In any case, I feel fortunate because success didn't reach me very young. At least I had the opportunity to have a life before." I think it is so weird to think that celebrities are out there wishing they could have like the simple things that we do every single day. Halfway through the list at number 5 is Shailene Woodley. She began doing some commercial modeling when she was just 4 years old, and since then she has continued to act, which has made her well known in Hollywood. However, she is one who loves the art but hates the fame, so it's kind of a love-hate relationship. The amount of attention you get from being in Hollywood can be severely overwhelming, and she speaks openly about her feelings on it. In 2011, she did an interview with W Magazine where she said, "To me, the F word is famous and the C word is celebrity. I hate those words with a passion." She doesn't see herself as either of those things and claims to only be in Hollywood because of her passion for the art. Since she is so into the art, she also thinks she has the right to turn down roles. She says, I quote, "If I'm being hired simply because my name is a name, that doesn't feel good. That's like somebody buying your painting simply because of how much they're told it's worth versus actually enjoying looking at the painting and feeling inspired by it." I have genuine respect for that. Taking the number 4 spot is Daniel Radcliffe. I gotta say, for how famous he is, he sure has found a way to stay out of the spotlight compared to some of the other actors in this industry. He's had to learn from an early age on how to handle the Hollywood lifestyle, seeing as he took on the role of Harry Potter at just 11 years old. The actor has been under a spotlight from media and fans throughout his entire childhood basically, which we can imagine wouldn't be easy. That kind of pressure would be hard on an adult, let alone a child. But somehow he has managed to keep some parts of his life normal. He's open about the fact that he considers himself to be a normal guy and hates when anyone brings up fame or tries to convince him that he is in fact a big star. This is why he tries really hard to lead a quiet and private life. He hates paparazzi so much that sometimes he enjoys messing with them. For a period of over 5 months, he would leave his work and home wearing the same clothing pieces every time he went out. He wore one shirt and jacket every day so that the paparazzi wouldn't make any money off of the pictures because it would always be like the same picture. It would basically be worthless to magazines and websites since they are always looking for fresh material. Excellent work, Mr. Potter. Okay guys, at number 3 we have Kristen Stewart. She has been acting pretty much for her whole life. She grew up in the spotlight and one thing she has learned is that she's not a fan of fame either. It seems like no one is. She's mostly known for her role as Bella in the Twilight series, but she also had some other major credits to her name. However, she sees fame as a very negative part of the job. Time and time again she has voiced her opinion on the subject, but in 2015 she let it out during an interview with Harper's Bazaar UK. She said, "Fame is the worst thing in the world. Having that much human energy thrust at you and then being critically analyzed is obviously disarming." She said she wishes she didn't have to do interviews, press conferences, and red carpets, but she obviously has no choice since that is part of the job. In our number 2 spot is Zach Galifianakis. Ever since he starred in the movie The Hangover, he's become one of the most famous comedic actors out there. Most of his roles involve comedy, which is why you would think he might find the life in Hollywood all fun and games. However, he actually hates the idea of Hollywood and never had any interest in fame. He is another actor who loves his craft and wishes that he could just act and pass on the rest that comes with it. During an interview he said, "Being a celebrity is it's dumb and I'm not interested in it. I like to be an actor and that's it. We have people telling us we should pay attention to these people for all the wrong reasons, their personal lives and whatnot. I'd rather just do my work and go home and watch Lifetime." He was once asked why he is so against the idea of fame and he explained it's because he thinks associating fame with actors is a man-made concept. He doesn't really believe in it. He says that just because the two things are thought of as being the same thing, it doesn't mean that he has to enjoy both or accept them as one. The hilarious actor says he will always just see himself as an actor, not as a celebrity. Taking the number 1 spot on our list is Harrison Ford. You might find it hard to believe that he doesn't like Hollywood, seeing as he just won't stop acting. The man is 76 years old and is still kicking ass in the acting industry. But he will be the first one to tell you that there is a difference between the desire to act and the desire to be famous. Unfortunately, being an actor makes you famous and there's not really a way around it, especially when you're starring in the Star Wars franchise. During an interview he spoke up about his opinion on Hollywood and said, "I have tried very hard not to give a rat's ass about the business part of it because to me it's the wrong way of looking at it. I have always looked at movies as a job." He went on to explain that he feels like being famous has cost him his privacy and that the fame is a burden on all of his loved ones. But unfortunately there is nothing that he can do about it now. That is what happens when you've been in the acting industry for 40-something years.